Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. It is still winter and cold. We are down here in the garage, and we are going to take a look at something that I get a ton of questions about, and that is the machine gun mount here in the bed of the M715. So we're going to take you some up close pictures and an up close look at it, and we'll tell you how we built it and how we came about with it. So that's what we're going to do. I do want to take a moment and thank everybody. We have reached that magic 1,000 subscriber mark. That's absolutely awesome. Like I said, I've said all along, I don't pay for subs or anything like that. It's all organic, and it's taken a couple years to work through to get to that 1,000. But I do want to thank every single one of you guys that do subscribe and follow along. We surely appreciate it. It's just an awesome feeling to finally hit that 1,000 mark. But enough of that. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take a close look. And like always, hey, give us a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and we appreciate it. Okay, so we have the mount here in the back of the M715. And a lot of questions I always get is, what mount is it? What kind of mount are you using? And the answer is quite simply, it's one we made. So this is kind of a variation of both the M31C that is in the back of the Jeeps, which, as far as the pedestal style, and then also a little bit of the M4 that's in the M151 Jeeps, with the two legs coming off for support. And I imagine this is, since there is no exact mount for the M715, the really only way to do this is to basically come up with a field mashup, something that you got to imagine that some motor pool crew members were looking around the pile of spare parts and figured that they could basically make something out of spare parts. So that's kind of where I got the idea for this. Luckily, I have a couple buddies that are really good fabricators, and we were able to build the pieces here. So we do have our main pedestal bar. It's kind of hard to see behind the fuel lines there for our propane oxygen gun, but it is a full length tube all the way to the bottom. And of course, we do have the M23 cradle with the M2 mounted up top. We made a kind of modified way to keep it from rotating, with basically a nut and bolt welded in that pinches the pintle there, keeps it from free rotating, so you have to loosen that up. Just very, very similar to what's on the real stuff. And of course, we added a couple tabs. So at first, when we first built this, pardon me, when we first built this, we did not have the two legs coming down. We just had the bar, and it felt a little wobbly, and we didn't have the big full weight replica M2 up there at that time. We just had a lightweight fiberglass one. So we definitely knew we needed to add. So we went back, we added in the tabs and made these two leg bars that came down, and we ran them down and mounted them into the bed with just some angle brackets. And of course, we came down, we made a plate to the front of the bed. There is a support bracket that we made that's underneath the front lip of the bed there that bolts into that front lip and helps secure to the front lip of the bed. And then, of course, we've done a plate with a few gussets and then bolted right through the main part of the bed. And as you can see from carrying some sandbags around back here, we have a little bit of sand that blowing around. And probably should have cleaned that out before we put it away for the winter, but it's, oh well. Anyway, so we got a nice heavy plate. It is bolted down through the bed. The front two bolt in through the toolbox, so they are a little more difficult to get to. You have to fish your arm way up in there to get to the nuts, and then of course the back two are just out underneath the bed there, and they're pretty easy to grab at. But it does make a nice solid mount. This mount is solid as can be. Doesn't move, doesn't shake. We went with a design where with the soft top on the vehicle, the gun does stick up above it and clears everything. And it is at a nice height so that if a person was actually standing at the gun, it's at a nice height that they can use the weapon. And of course, this is a gas propane simulation gun, so we have our two oxy-acetylene lines, and we've made up this OD cloth cover that comes down and runs into the ammo box where we keep the propane bottle and the oxygen bottle and the regulators and all that, and the battery. So all in all, it makes a nice solid mount. Looks pretty good. We get a ton of questions about it, but I just wanted to show you guys some good up close stuff about it. We did at one point add this extra collar at the top just for some security, just to keep that top of the tube from wallowing out, especially once we put the heavier gun up there. Of course, you can see some other holes that were drilled in at times where we'd had some different ideas on how to bolt in to use basically a pressure bolt against it to try and keep it from rotating. Instead, we ended up with this design at the very end, going in on an angle, and it pushes on an angle into the slot at the bottom of the pintle. Helps keep it secure. But like I said, standing here in the back of the truck, you can see it does make this, this is a nice height to be able to get at. Let me go grab the tape measure and we'll measure out this height for you. Okay, just about 46 inches is the length we have from the mount, top of the mount, all the way to the top of the mount there where the pintle goes in. So that's a measurement for anybody that's looking for height. So that 46 inches was what we came up with. That lifts the gun up real nice, above the cab line. The other nice thing is then when if I have the gun out of it and have the regular canvas top on the rear, that fits underneath the bows and doesn't get in the way. And of course, the way it's designed to, it is slightly back of the cab, or slightly back of the front of the bed, so a front curtain fits in there nice. It doesn't get in the way of any of that stuff, so it makes it nice and easy to put all that stuff on. Okay, and so that front reinforcement bracket comes down and runs through this front lip here, and it's probably a little hard to see in there, but we got a support bracket, and of course, you know, the design here. So even though this bracket's here, it is open in the middle. You got to kind of fish your hands up through there, and makes it a little difficult to get up there, but it's not too bad. Like I said, those front two mounts, those are inside the toolbox. And so way down in there are those front two bolts, and the other two just mount right through the bed floor. So all in all, it's a nice, real sturdy mount. I find driving around, it doesn't swing around, doesn't sway. And of course, it does give such a nice look. So we do have, you know, our full metal M2 replica, the Mod Deuce that we bought from Hoosier Hot Shots. And of course, I did do a full video on that gas-fired gun. So if you want, take a look back in the archives there, and I'll try and put a link in the description down below if you want to see more about the Hoosier Hot Shot M2 Mod Deuce replica that we have. But so it does give a nice look. We are mounted well above the cab, and so even, you know, in the summer when I have the cab off all the time, it is kind of a nice that it's way up there. It's kind of out of the way. You don't have to worry about banging your head or nothing on it. And yes, there is still plenty of snow out here. Well, folks, that's going to wrap up another quick one here on Green Iron TV. Yeah, we're still, you know, with this weather, not down here doing real work in the garage. But I did have somebody on one of the message boards ask me again about the mount, and so I figured it was just as easy. And yes, that is snow blowing in front of the camera. I do have the door open, and it is blowing in pretty hot and heavy, which is one of the reasons why we are not down here working very much. And why I'm down here freezing my balls off. So we're going to wrap this up and get back up to the warm house. But hey, I want to thank you guys for watching along. Take a moment, down in the description link down below is the link for the Green Iron TV merchandise store. There's all kinds of neat things like these hats. There's t-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of nice things. But I want to thank you guys for following along like always. And thank you to the 1,000 subscribers that have taken the time to subscribe to this channel. We appreciate every single one of you guys. So, hey, thanks a lot. And like always, you guys have a great day.